Hey, what's up? A gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It is Wednesday morning. Had to think about that. It's Wednesday morning. It is February 26th. A couple more days and we have another month in the can. Uh, let's see. The president, I really hate using that title, has been in office a little over a month. I think he went into office January 20th, if I'm not mistaken. Well, at any rate, the day one promises that were supposed to be kept, the only thing that was kept from the day one promises was a personal vendetta. Has anybody seen a reduction in their prices or the cost of living? No. Here, gas is almost $6 a gallon. It's $5.50. It's last time I filled up, it was $5.50. So yeah, I haven't seen a reduction in anything. Tariffs on everything. This kind of neener philosophy. Childish little kids, get back, people swearing at one another. I don't care how angry you get in government, and I'm sure there's a lot that makes you angry. It's like I'm sitting at my desk most of the time, upset about this, that, and the other. I want to say 85% of the time. The other 15%, I'm trying to ground myself and find my peace. But you're an elected official. I want you to, protect my interests in the government. Yes, absolutely. But I want you to do it in a way that, I want to say, honors you and glorifies God. Since we're talking about God and country all the time, let's glorify God with the actions of our country. How about that? And some of you folks are in some deep idol worship, and that you worship a buck instead of worshiping God. Now, I needed to say that this morning. There's a book by, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, Anais Nin. Now, I don't know if she was communist or socialist, but the book is called Atlas Shrugged. So, what happens in Atlas, who has the weight of the world on his shoulders? What happens when he shrugs? The world, as I visualize it, the world goes drifting off. And we're at that point. I think we're beyond that point, to be perfectly honest with you, where the world goes drifting off and we're headed in a direction that is not going to bring joy, that has not brought joy. And I want to highlight one thing that, was on the news yesterday that is really disturbing. That plaque at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty that talks about basically the melting pot of America, who we allow in as citizens. They need to remove that. That's how I feel. They need to remove that, because that is another lie that we're telling people about who we are. And I said we. That is yet another lie, a governmental lie that we've nurtured for years. This is a romantic notion. Again, that's our history. Romantic notions, because ask any person of color and they'll tell you how this country has lied to them. Any person. Ask any person that's in a group that is considered, notice I said considered, DEI, and they'll tell you how this country has lied to them. I've been marginalized on so many different levels in people's minds, yet here I am, defying the odds. That part. Yeah, so the news story is we're selling citizenship. What do they call it? Gold card citizens. So now we're profiting off citizenship. And what this gold card citizenship is creating is anybody with enough money to buy this stupid thing can come into the country. Now, usually when people amass money, notice I say usually, I'm not saying all, but when folks have amassed large sums of money, they're usually engaged in some illegal activity. So basically, what I'm saying is, this is a pass. The gold card is a pass for oligarchs, some terrorist groups. And since we have no systems of checks and balances anymore, there's nobody to do a background check. So you're going to have all kinds of rich criminals you know, that's what's running the government. That part. Had to say that. Which leads me into this quote that I have on my office door. Now, it's based on the work that I do, but it applies in this instance, and it's a quote by John Assaraf. Brother, forgive me if I've mispronounced your name. It says, the stories we tell ourselves shape our lives. They shape who we believe we are, and this belief translates into who we become. So, I want to change the word stories just a little bit. You know, when I was a kid, the older folks wouldn't let you say somebody is lying. We had to say, oh, they're telling a story. So let's put the real word in there. The lies we tell ourselves shape our lives. They shape who we believe we are. And this belief translates into who we become. Which, as you guys know me, leads me to think of lyrics of a song. Back in the day, I first heard the song, you ready for this? On an 8-track. Now some of you folks can't relate to an 8-track because you're too young. But I heard this song on an 8-track. It's by Teddy Pendergrass. You know, it had a funky beat. And as they said on the American Bandstand, it's easy to dance to. But the line was, the lies that you told will leave a mark on your soul. And I shared a while back. I mean, this is like 5 years. No, 3 years ago. I shared that, I had an incident where I'm taking ownership. And I have from the time I realized what was going on. I allowed somebody to take me out of my character and to really go there. You know, I've had all kinds of support and help in dealing with my anger. You know, I have some serious generational trauma from growing up in a household with domestic violence. But I had allowed somebody to just pull me slowly, subtly, seduce me into a place of complacency. And then they pulled the rug from under me. And the very first thing I wanted to do was get even. Now at this stage in life, this point in life, this point in healing, this point in Christ, I realize that their actions said a lot about them and their character. It said more about them than it did about me. I wanted to get even because I was hurt. Not that it minimizes, the desire for revenge. But the individual was very calculating. And they claimed that they didn't know why they did what they did. And again, at this point in my healing and this point in my recovery, this point in Christ, it's like, you can't tell me you don't know why. Because your lineage, your history, your track record indicates a pattern of lies that you told yourself. And if you guys have heard me speak for over 5 years now by this medium, you've heard me talk about me, I am fully self-aware of who I am. I can say that. Sometimes I do get angry, and, I've said, I got anger issues. You've heard me say that. For 5 years, you've heard me say that. Can I always pump my brakes? No, you've heard me say that. Do I know who I am in Christ Jesus? Absolutely. You've heard me say that. I can take ownership of mine. I'm not going to pass the buck. I can say mea culpa. I can, ask for forgiveness. I can apologize. You've heard and seen me do all of that. I may be deceived early on, but because I am connected to the Most High, He gives the blessing and the gift of discernment. And, I am actively engaged in that as well. It may take a little time, but I wake up and make changes. How are you operating in this world? That's my opening message.